Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Gilded Age, Season 2. And this is from the creators of Downton Abbey, except American version. And of course we have the Russell family made up of new money, and the Van Rhijn family who has much older money in 1880s New York City high society. And this particular second season deals with a lot of elements, especially one huge one that they spend a lot of time on, surprisingly to me, is the whole fight for black schools and integration. And I'm like, so much of the rest of this show is such like rich people problems, and then it starts dealing with all of this like actually significant cultural and historical issues in terms of racism. And I'm just like, this feels so odd to just be like shoved into this series as like a subplot, when I feel like out of everything, this really should be something that's like much more important than all the bickerings of old versus new rich people money. And there are some interesting aspects, like one of the maids or one of the like servant class winds up getting into this rich family, and that causes a whole hoodoo, especially even from like the new money people, which just shows like how much money can corrupt people right away. I just feel like this show in many ways is a lot of the topical things are very interesting and compelling, but so much of the rest of it's just like soap opera-y, like rich people bickering problems. Like, what if this rich family lost all their money? Problem that they deal with in this season. What if it's like, I want to marry this person, but my family wants to marry into this family? Those kinds of dynamics. But I feel like what makes this so engaging is the really good cast. And like, I love Carrie Coon. She's fantastic. Morgan Spector, I feel like, has been somebody that's wound up on my radar thanks to this show. Taissa Farmiga really stands out. And then, of course, you have the likes of, like, Cynthia Nixon, Christine Baranski in their roles in this series. And there's just... it's one of those kinds of series where there's so many characters and so many moving pieces, and a lot of them aren't as compelling or interesting as others. Louisa Jacobson is still one of like the bigger elements of this show, and I like her. I think she's one of the more likable characters in the show. Denny Benton, who plays Peggy Scott, I feel like got a bigger spotlight in this season, which I appreciated. Overall, I feel like this show realized how much of a disconnect there can be, and I feel like with Downton, it made it a little bit more interesting because like the British kind of element to this. Here in America, it's like, I don't feel like there's that kind of like care about like, oh, look at these rich families, we care about them so much. It's like, no, honestly, a lot of people don't like them, and it's hard to really connect with them in this show. Like, obviously you gravitate towards the ones who've like made their money and haven't just inherited their money and kept spending their money. I did really like Nathan Lane wound up being in this season, and he was a lot of fun. He was really over the top. But overall, I feel like this season does get a little bit more topical with things. It does feel a little out of place, but I guess they're really trying to, you know, make this a little bit more relevant of a show and trying to connect a little bit. And if you're really into like this high-class soap opera society, this certainly is it, and it's right there for you on Max. But those are my thoughts on Season 2 of The Gilded Age. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.